Okay, hello everyone. Bienvenidos. I just started recording our session. Thanks for coming to our August 9th Ward meeting. We will start off. We have a special guest with us today, Professor Matt Easterday from Northwestern University, here to talk to us about participatory budgeting.
Hola, me llamo Juan. Muchas gracias por estar reunidos ustedes aquí en el mes de agosto para nuestra reunión. El día de hoy tenemos al profesor Matt Easterday de la Universidad Northwestern que nos va a asistir en esta reunión.
Cool. Thanks everyone for having me here. I'm just going to talk really briefly about 5 minutes about participatory budgeting and how you can get involved. While Celia's translating, I'm going to start my screen.
Yeah. Sí, hola, voy a simplemente hablar 5 minutos de la participación del presupuesto de la ciudad de Evanston. Voy a compartir mi pantalla.
Okay, can everyone see that okay?
¿Todos pueden ver bien?
Cool. All right. Okay, so participatory budgeting is basically, sorry about this, a democratic process where community members decide how to spend part of a public budget. So it gives people real power over real money.
La participación de presupuesto implica a todos los miembros de la comunidad que puedan participar para ver cómo podemos compartir una parte del presupuesto para toda la comunidad.
So why are we doing PB in Evanston? One of the reasons is it's empowering the community to spend $3 million of ARPA funding. So that's for COVID relief. It's making sure that the way we spend our budget is going to areas of our community that really need it. And it's to develop civic leaders. And most exciting to me is that it's a new way of making decisions and doing democracy in Evanston.
¿Por qué nosotros hacemos la participación de presupuesto en Evanston? Es porque queremos generar a la comunidad, empoderar a la comunidad, qué podemos hacer con los 3 millones que tenemos como presupuesto para poder gastarlo. Es un fondo muy alto y queremos cubrir en las áreas que realmente lo necesita. Y también para poder desarrollar líderes en nuestra comunidad, y también es una manera de poder edificar la democracia con nosotros como comunidad.
So PB started in Porto Alegre, Brazil in '89, and it came to Rogers Park recently, like in 2009. And depending on who you ask, there's about 1,500 to 7,000 PB processes globally now. In Brazil, where it started, it's done things like reduce child mortality by 20%. It's helped alleviate poverty, expanded access to public services, and even reduced corruption.
¿Cómo empezó la mundo? Primero empezó en Porto Alegre, en Brasil, en 1989. Luego vino aquí a Rogers Park en el año 2009. Un estimado de 1.500 a 7.000 un proceso global. Y en Brasil, PBS empezó a reducir la mortalidad de los niños en un 20%, se alivió la pobreza, se expandió en los servicios públicos y también reduce la corrupción.
So the way PB works, there's basically 6 steps. So in the first step, there's a steering committee that decides what the rules of the process are going to be. Next, anyone who wants to can brainstorm ideas about what we should spend the money on. And then it goes into a developing proposals phase where volunteers, about 40 or so, work for several months developing the ideas into things that can spend money on. And then in probably about next summer or so, we all get to vote on which ideas we want to fund. And then the city funds those ideas.
Okay. Este proceso es un proceso de 5 formas. Por ejemplo, el primero es ver a unos representantes dentro de la comunidad para que ellos puedan participar. Segundo es crear nuestras ideas, ¿no? Ver qué ideas tienen, cómo podemos hacer proyectos juntos. Luego también se desarrollan unos unas propuestas. Esas propuestas son ideas que se van a ir estudiando y ver cuál de ellas es la ganadora. Y luego también se va un voto. Así es que el próximo año vamos a hacer los votos y vamos a elegir la mejor propuesta.
Okay, and now I'm going to show a short video about it works, and it will have Spanish subtitles in it. So.
You live in this community and you pay tax, come out and vote, decide how your tax dollars get spent.
Participatory budgeting gives people real power over real money to make the decisions that affect their lives. It's a democratic process in which ordinary community members directly decide how to spend part of the public budget.
Oh, this is different because you're actually voting for where the money is going to be spent instead of allowing them to decide where to spend money. Who knows better about their community than the people that live in their community?
So how does it work? First, people brainstorm ideas. They come together in neighborhood assemblies and start to think of what kinds of projects would they like to see in their neighborhood. Volunteers take people's initial ideas and turn them into real projects.
We started with made about 40 projects. So we had a series of budget delegate meetings and we narrowed down the list into about 4 or 5 projects.
What are the real needs of the community? If you only have a certain amount of money, what is it that you can do that's going to benefit as many people as possible?
Displays and shelters throughout the district. They will tell people when the next bus is due to arrive.
And really, not adventures, seniors have nowhere to go.
People get a taste of making the tough decisions and coming up with things that can be done to improve their community. And they bring them back to the public for a vote.
So we're validating every voice in our community and saying, you know what, whatever your position is, you live in our community, you have a right to decide, and that me as a representative and government should respond and should listen to that voice.
The projects with the most votes get funded.
Improvements and build up.
They are then implemented over the next 2 years, and the following year, the process starts again. People brainstorm new ideas, turn them into new projects, vote on them, and fund more improvements for their community. PB becomes part of the budget process. It becomes a new way of governing.
I think this is like the greatest wave of democracy coming into the United States. It started in Porto Alegre, Brazil in 1989.
From there, it spread all over Latin America and over 1,500 cities around the world. In Toronto, public housing tenants have decided to spend millions of dollars each year on improvements to their buildings. In Chicago and New York, city council members have set aside discretionary funds for the community to decide. In Vallejo, California, PB has been used citywide for funds for the new sales tax.
This was a great opportunity for you to be a part of government and better the city you live in. And who would want to take advantage of that? You're creating a more educated platform of voters overall. So I think this can only be good for the big project of democracy.
Cool. So I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to stop there and talk about really quickly some of the ways that you can get involved.
Ahora mismo voy a hablar cómo ustedes pueden participar dentro de este programa.
Oh, sorry, hold on a second. Okay, so the first way, which is right now, is we are forming the steering committee. And so applications are open for about 4 more days, just till Sunday. And the steering committee has a really important role, which is to write the rules for how the process works. So that includes what kinds of projects can be funded, how many events there will be, what the eligibility criteria are for voting. So we really need steering committee members who can represent Evanston, like all the different communities in Evanston.
Ok. Una manera de cómo usted puede participar es, necesitamos representantes de Evanston, tiene que llenar una aplicación y las personas que se dedican a participar en esto van a ayudar a poder establecer las reglas y cómo podemos crear un criterio de poder elegir los mejores proyectos.
And of course, like
Perdón. Sorry. En la aplicación es hasta el día domingo. Hasta este domingo se cierra la aplicación.
And of course, another way to participate is around next summer or so is to vote on the projects that you want the city to fund. And you can sign up for when to vote on pbevanston.org.
Y otra manera de poder asistir o participar es de que te vayas a firmar para el próximo año, en el 2023, y ustedes lo pueden encontrar en pbevanston.org.
In the fall, there's going to be neighborhood assemblies, so you can come to these assemblies and submit ideas and also sign up to be budget delegates.
Y en el otoño van a ustedes tener unas reuniones en su vecindario que va a ser también, lo pueden hacer por internet y ustedes pueden ahí también firmar a pbevanston.org.
And then in the winter and spring, the budget delegates, anyone can sign up to be a budget delegate. We'll develop those ideas into proposals that will go onto the ballot.
Y también en el invierno y en la primavera, los miembros van a poder ver cuáles son los proyectos que van a ir a futuro y trabajan en pequeños grupos y también ustedes pueden participar.
And then if you're interested in helping support the process, you can volunteer to do things like canvass or facilitate neighborhood assemblies.
Y ustedes también pueden hacer un voluntariado dentro de su vecindario y crear grupos o espacios para poder hacer reuniones.
And then if you're part of an organization, you can also join up as a community partner to help facilitate events and get the word out.
Y si ustedes son parte de algunas organizaciones, también ustedes pueden ayudar a poder marketear esta idea.
So I'm going to end there and thank you for having me at your ward meeting and happy to take any questions if we have time, or if not, you can email us at pbevanston.org.
Gracias por poderme participar en la novena reunión de aquí de su distrito. Si ustedes tienen algunas preguntas, háganlo saber y si no, pueden mandar un correo .com.org.
Thank you, Matt. In the chat, there is a link to sign up to be on the budgeting committee. So I would love to have folks from the 9th Ward representing us there. Thank you.
Muy bien, ahora ustedes pueden encontrar en el área de la casilla donde escribimos, está el link donde ustedes pueden firmar y poder participar en este comité de presupuesto en la participación de Evanston.
Okay, before we get to our some announcements, I just want to introduce Max Seeley. He's going to hop on and just talk for 1 second, introduce himself. He will be speaking at our next ward meeting, but I'll see if he can introduce himself.
Ahora mismo les voy a presentar a Max Seeley. Él va a ser nuestro siguiente invitado.
Hi, everyone. Juan, thank you so much for inviting me to speak here tonight.
Muchas gracias a todos. Gracias por invitarme a poder hablar el día de hoy.
So, like Juan said, I'm going to be speaking next month at our ward meeting, but just a quick overview. I'm a community organizer with Connections for the Homeless, which is based here in Evanston.
Yo también estoy aquí participando en unas comunidades para las personas que no tienen lugar donde estar.
We're currently launching our equitable zoning project where we're getting feedback from community members to talk about ways that the current zoning codes are impacting them and might not be promoting equity and access to affordable housing in the city of Evanston.
Nosotros vamos a estar abriendo un espacio para poder recibir información acerca de cómo podemos nosotros crear un impacto en las personas que necesitan apoyo en nuestro vecindario.
So next month we'll be doing a presentation all about what this project's doing, going in depth, and how you can get involved. But just today, I just wanted to say hi and make myself known. So thank you very much for having me, and look forward to speaking with you next month.
El siguiente mes yo voy a asistir y voy a hacerles presentar el proyecto de cómo ustedes pueden participar y cómo pueden apoyar. Así es que los veo hasta el próximo mes.
Thanks a lot, Max. We'll see you next month, and I look forward to the conversation. Just so everyone knows, affordable housing is a high priority on my list, and I think the council in general is really focusing on ways to make Evanston affordable and provide relief for longtime residents and also for renters in the area.
Como ustedes pueden saber, para mí es una prioridad que haya un acceso accesible a las personas que puedan tener casas, a los que también rentan. Así es que es uno de los puntos más prioritarios para mí.
Great. I have some announcements. So I will share in the chat here. Another super important program that we have starting is the Guaranteed Income Program.
Bueno, acá también hay un link en la casilla que ustedes pueden ver, así es que pueden ahí también hacerle clic para que vean la información. Y luego también vamos a hablar acerca del programa garantizado de ingreso.
This is really exciting. I think applications are open through August 29th. And this would provide financial support for Evanston residents, and I think it's an exciting partnership with Northwestern, and I think something that could have a great impact on struggling individuals and families.
Nosotros también ustedes tienen una aplicación que será dirigido hasta agosto 29. Estoy muy emocionado por este tipo de proyecto. Es un apoyo financiero para todos los residentes con el apoyo de la Universidad de Northwestern. Queremos dar beneficios a todo individuo y a toda familia.
Great. As some of you folks know, we have hired a permanent city manager, Luke Stowe. And that was formalized on my days run together on Tuesday. It became official, and I'm happy with the decision. And I think everyone who has worked with Luke is excited to have him leading us. I've known him, just for a short while, but he is very collaborative and really invested in the community.
Bueno, como ustedes pueden saber, tenemos al manager ya elegido para la ciudad de Evanston. Su nombre es Luke Stowe. Hace poco lo hemos elegido el día martes. Él es un gran colaborador y invierte mucho para nuestra comunidad.
Okay, I have a report from Officer McCrae. He unfortunately could not be here. As some of you folks know, we are having an officer shortage in the police department, and a lot of our problem solving and community policing resources have been diverted to back on patrol.
Bueno, nuestro oficial de seguridad, el señor McCrack, no va a estar disponible el día de hoy, pero tengo unos anuncios. Como ustedes pueden saber, estamos muy cortos con personas oficiales que no tenemos, entonces muchos de los problemas que hoy tenemos en nuestra comunidad se debe a que estamos muy escasos de policías.
Okay. From the ward report, about a third of all incidents in the ward were again theft related. And again, Officer McRae, his guidance is to not leave things unsecured. A lot of the vehicular burglaries are because things are visible and cars are left open and open with their keys inside.
Bueno, uno de los informes que nos comenta el oficial McCrae es acerca de los robos. Son los más comunes dentro de la comunidad, así es que él nos recomienda que por favor cierren sus puertas de los automóviles, no dejen las llaves dentro de los automóviles, nada, algo que sea visible, que sea posible que alguien se tiente a robar.
Update from a recent Human Services Committee is that the department has, I think, 30 recruits that passed their test. It takes anywhere from 18 months to 2 years for a recruit to be ready to become a police officer. They are also have applicants, 6 lateral applications, and hopefully we'll have some new hires on the force soon.
Y una de las actualizaciones que también tenemos es que hay 30 personas que ya han pasado la prueba de exámenes, que están reclutadas ahora, y tenemos más 6 aplicantes.
Okay, and let's see if this works here. I am going to put a link in the chat. There's been, as everyone knows, I report on all our meetings via Twitter. There's been some feedback that folks want that information ported to Facebook, and I've finally figured out how to do that. So if you folks want to follow along at home, all updates are going to Twitter if you prefer, or to Facebook.
Bueno, he recibido algunas recomendaciones de las personas que
Celia,
quieren
you're
que...
muted.
Can you hear me? Okay. Acabo de recibir algunas recomendaciones de las personas que viven en nuestra comunidad, que toda información
Are we all having?
Can you hear me?
Are folks having any audio? Can you hear me?
Good. Bien. ¿Es bien?
I think
Sí.
Celia, can you?
I hear you. Yo
I'm not sure.
sí.
We can't hear you.
Oh.
We can hear her.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can hear Celia.
Okay. Okay. Voy a continuar. He recibido algunas recomendaciones de las participantes en la comunidad que
Can you all
debería
hear
yo...
me? I'm having technical difficulties, apparently.
Yes, you keep interrupting Celia. But we can hear you too.
Yeah. Okay, so I just continue then. He recibido algunos anuncios de las personas en la comunidad que toda información que yo haga las pueda colocar. Normalmente lo hago por Twitter, Pero también
Okay.
voy a dejar la aplicación de Facebook
All right.
para que ustedes puedan
This
recibir información.
is
Okay, we cannot hear you now, Juan. You're muted. Please
Juan,
unmute.
no le escuchamos nada.
okay. My microphone is on the fritz here. So I'm gonna join from the phone here.
Juan, you're muted now.
Juan, okay. Juan, can you talk, please? ¿Puede hablar? Everybody is okay? ¿Todos están bien?
Yes,
Can
ma'am. We
people
can
hear
hear
me
you
now
very clearly.
or no?
Yes.
Yes, Juan. Yes.
Okay.
Le escucho bien. We don't hear you, Juan.
Juan, you're muted again.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I on there now? Okay. So my laptop is having issues here. So luckily we're at the end of the scripted part. Surprisingly, I did not script the my laptop going dark on me. So I'm gonna stop the recording now.